When Donald Trump floated the idea of a 100% tariff on Canadian imports, most people treated it like noise. Another threat, another negotiation tactic, something meant to get attention and then fade. But this one wasn't designed to blow anything up. It was designed to sit there quietly, tied to a condition, and expensive enough that companies start adjusting before a single rule actually changes. That condition is China. This isn't about ideology or speeches or some abstract trade war. It's about alignment. Canada can keep easy access to the US market, or it can deepen economic ties with China beyond what Washington is comfortable with. What it can't do anymore is pretend those two choices don't collide. Canada's economy doesn't just trade with the United States, it runs through it. Supply chains were built on the assumption that the border stays boring, predictable, and cheap. So the moment tariffs become a possibility, even a remote one, companies don't wait for certainty. They start pricing in risk, delaying decisions, and quietly questioning whether the assumptions they've relied on for decades still hold. That's where the damage begins. Not after a tariff hits, but long before it does. The US doesn't need to block trade to make this work. It just needs to shift the risk onto Canada. If Ottawa stays aligned, nothing happens, and the threat fades into the background. If it doesn't, Canadian exporters absorb the uncertainty first, margins tighten, planning gets harder, and the pressure shows up fast. Canada is close enough to be isolated quickly, integrated enough that small disruptions ripple outward, and small enough that it can't push the cost back the other way. That isn't punishment, it's leverage. The US gains flexibility, Canada carries exposure, and most Americans barely notice because any price effects arrive slowly and get spread across a much larger market. Meanwhile, Canadian firms are making real decisions right now based on a threat that may never be triggered and doesn't actually need to be. This isn't about whether Canada signs a big China deal tomorrow. It's about the fact that access to the US market now feels conditional, even if nothing has officially changed. Partnership language doesn't fix that. Intentions don't fix it. Position does. And Canada is sitting between a market that demands loyalty and another that offers volume with fewer strings. The trucks are still moving, but the assumptions underneath them aren't.